Hello. Good morning, I would like to say. I'm so glad that you're full of energy after a full day. I come from a country called Romania. I don't know if you heard about it. We people in Romania come from a communist regime that we got rid of around 20 years ago. And ever since we got rid of it, we keep thinking about the future and finding ways to build things. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is the future. About understanding the future. How many futurists do we have in the audience? Anybody? Let me define futurist, as you see on the screen. A futurist is a person which engages in systems thinking and advises different private corporations about trends, risk evaluation, and so forth. Let's play again, since I see no futurist in the audience. Let's play a little game. What if we replace the term futurist with digital agency representative? Sounds familiar? How many futurists do we have in the room right now? This is better. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we as digital agencies do every day. We have to see the future for our clients. And not only do we have to see the future for our clients, we have to see it in a deadline because we have to launch the product. I mean, by the end of this week, if it's possible. So what I want to underline is that seeing the future, foreseeing the future for our clients has become so natural in our lives that we don't even see it anymore. So how exactly do we see the future? It's not like we use crystal balls. As we saw in the last 13.7 billion years, we witnessed that the only thing that is certain is the change. We live in a period of socio-technological uncertainty. And this is great. You know why it's great? It's great because it puts all the big boys, all the big players, all the corporations that managed to grow so far up to this point, it puts them on an equal level with small companies and startups. This is what uncertainty does. Uncertainty creates opportunity. But how do we see this opportunity, you wonder? Because it's part of the brief. Dear agency, let's find some opportunity here and here and here and here and in 1 week or tomorrow. It's simple, in theory. We scan for the weak signals. Does anybody know about the weak signals theory? Okay, how do I start? Weak signals are specific signals that show us, indicate to us, what might happen in the future, which will become relevant for the masses. Seeing the weak signals is, for example, being aware of a rising technology before it happens and using it to your advantage. Let me see if I have a laser here. This is the most important, I'm going to point it physically. This is the most important part of the weak signals theory, is when you invest in a weak signal. And this is what agencies are supposed to do, ladies and gentlemen, close to the brands. We need to see when to actually do that campaign for that brand using that technology for it to matter and to have a return on investment. We don't have to use technology for the sake of it. Okay, a new channel appeared, let's use it tomorrow. No, we're going to waste money. We need to be in that graphic where the green dot is. That's the most important thing, to know when. Weak signals. Remember this. Weak signals is also about startups. In all this social technological uncertainty, you need to be able to see what will rise and know when to invest. This is for venture capitalists more. I'm going to give you an example. We're going to play a little bit, and we're going to play with very recent information, my favorite. The gentleman at Cisco said the following thing, that by 2018, which is around the corner, 90% of global consumer traffic will be video. 90% of the internet will be video. What if we take that and corroborate it with the fact that last week, YouTube just launched support for 360 videos? And what if we corroborate this with the recent generous offer of virtual reality devices? Coming back to the weak signals theory, we can safely assume that a moment in time is very close when a first brand will do the first VR campaign on YouTube with 360 videos. That brand can be yours, but you have to study the signals, and you have to put them together first, at the right time. This is what we have to do every day, again, on a tight schedule. Interesting subject, number 2. How do we adapt our organizations? Because you can only improve so much on the human level. I mean, we're not going to augment our brains, right? Not in the near future. What we can really improve is the systems that we put our people in, the systems that they work together in. We need to have fuzzy people. I saw a very interesting term the other day. It's called liquid talent. It is very important to understand, and this is how we also manage our people in the agency. There are no defined roles anymore. We use for campaigns all kinds of people. If for that campaign, the idea comes from a guy from the BTL part and we combine it with a programmer, we combine it with an art director, there we have it. The environment is liquid. So should the management system be. So should the processes. This is the only way we can adapt our organizations to the future. And be very aware. This is very important because the future CMO is going to be a marketing technologist. When you will have that representative from the agency in front of him, he will ask, tell me about the idea, tell me about the execution, and tell me about the technologies behind it. And you will have to be able to answer all of them. That's what's changed. And they are coming. And in some specific brands, they are already there. Let's talk about some case studies. I chose from a wide range of campaigns that we did, some that are most exotic in my view, because they are specific to where the digital meets the physical world. I'm talking about the point of sale. In our view, it shouldn't even be called point of sale anymore. It should be called point of learning, point of fun, point of anything else but sale. Because the consumer is not some automated machine that comes there, enters, you sell to him and moves, and you put in the next. And he shouldn't feel that way. That's the problem. You shouldn't treat consumers like cookies, like strings of data. They have feelings, they are human. You are the consumer. Let me show you how we revolutionized point of sale for a very difficult industry. Pharmaceuticals. I have here a first example that we did, and this is pretty crazy. We had to do the following. We had a congress with doctors, and you know how doctors are. Serious people. Now, how do you get a serious people to experience your brand, have fun, remember it, and recommend it? The first case, we simply asked the pharmaceutical company, how does this drug work? And they said, you have a good molecule that catches a bad molecule. And then you're cured. I'm oversimplifying things. And you know what we did? We did a game in which the doctors used Kinect, and they would play it with the good molecule and catch the bad molecules. You can't believe what happened. It was a lane of doctors playing to catch the molecules. This is the idea. It's human. It's simple. It offers them a pleasure, a reason to interact. The second idea, arthritis. Do any of you have arthritis here? Nobody has arthritis here. How could we understand arthritis? That was the brief. How can we make others understand arthritis if we cannot understand it? You know what we did? We are in contact with different universities from the United States, and we have access to different technologies. One of the universities was kind enough to give us this glove over here. Actually, it was two of them. And you put the gloves on, and bam, you have arthritis. And you can understand the patients. You understand what they go through. And we combine that with gamification, and we simply told them to do the following. Guys, in 1 minute, open a door, shake a hand, and tap in your name. They couldn't do it. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the way you use technology to make people aware of specific conditions. And this is how you leave an impact. This is how you educate. This is how you create experience. This is what technology allows us to do. Again, those people over there are doctors who for the first time in tens of years felt arthritis without having it. I have another example here. Another one of our clients. I only selected pharmaceuticals and cars. We had the following task. We need to treat schizophrenia. I'm not going to ask if any of the audience has schizophrenia, because if you would have, you wouldn't know it. Anyway, the idea is the following. How the hell do you simulate schizophrenia? Again, no brief is too hard for the agency. We stepped inside and said, okay, let's understand this disease and see how we can use technology to simulate it for the doctors. And we did. We created this point of utility learning, and call it whatever, which simulated schizophrenia. And it did it in 3 ways. First, at number 1, we created an augmented reality in which you would simply walk around to look at the screen, and you would see people behind you, and you would turn, and nobody would be behind you. Schizophrenia symptom number 1. And the doctors were like, you know the target. I mean, older people move slowly. Where's the person? Second thing we did. Sensors, directional speakers. The moment you entered through number 2, together with a friend, you would hear voices. And you would go, did you hear that? No. Again, did you hear that? No, are you crazy? And then somebody would come and say, no, you're not crazy, but you know how it feels like. This is how you use technology, again, to create awareness. This is how you can open up universes of people and show others what it's like. This is how you educate. This is how you do good. And this is the way we use technology back in Romania. I'm going to show you another thing. Our agency is a tradigital agency. Do any of you know the term tradigital? Okay, tradigital is the best of traditional and digital. And we believe that in a world in which advertising is going towards on-demand advertising, there's no other way. As a tradigital agency, we build ecosystems. And these ecosystems have all the components that you all know, but also the physical component. We believe that the digital agency should also cover the physical component. And this is how we cover it for Honda. The problem was the following. People with money don't have time. And if you have enough money to buy a brand new Honda, which in Romania is around $40,000, $50,000, you don't have time during the week to go see it because you work to have that money to buy the Honda. Then how can we build an always-on showroom? Well, the task is simple. You have a showroom, which is always there, but now it's always off. So what if we put an interactive kiosk behind it, and you go, and when you're in front of it, you start interacting with the car. You see it physically exposed, you turn it, you change the colors, you configure it, and we did an always-on store. And now it's always on physical and online. These are solutions based on technologies available today. And there are 2 iterations of it. I mean, it can be done with Kinect and motion sensors, or it can be done with a device that actually detects your phone. You download an app and you control the kiosk. But this has to be part of the ecosystem. I have a question for you. And if anybody answers it right, I'm going to give you my pin with Infinite. I don't have any other prize. In Romania, what percentage of Honda cars do you think are sold exclusively from online. 4%? Do I get more? 4%, 4% from the gentleman, the first row, 4%? 17? Getting close? How? 25. Yes, here's the pin. Can you pass it over? I hope it fits your current outfit because it's red and black. So, 25%, ladies and gentlemen, a quarter of those cars are sold exclusively from online. And we measure that. This is the power of the ecosystem. And this is why all the digital assets need to work holistically. One of my favorite subjects, wearables, wearables. Every time I go to a table, I sit down, there's at least 3 people. One will say they will take off, the other say will go down. Wearables. Wearables. But let me tell you 2 things about wearables. First, the first wearable in history that we ever heard of came from a brand. It came from Nike. I'm not saying the first that was invented, the first that was pushed to the market. The first we ever heard of as consumers came from Nike. So, first thing, I think it's brands and agencies' responsibility to push them and to use them before they become mainstream. And I can give you tens of examples. One of them would be, what if when people come to test drive a car, you put a nice little wearable on their hand, you register the pulse, and then when you send the newsletter, thank you for driving the car, you send them the heartbeat during the driving, and clearly shows that you love the car. See how simple? You're using a wearable, which is still a novelty, you put it together with a test drive, and you create a personalized message from the heart. This is how you have to use technology. And I think wearables will really take off. But first, they will take off in examples like you saw from the pharmaceuticals. They will take off being pushed and used by the brands. People will come to the point and touch it, put the hand on it, test it, use the VR headset first if provided by a brand. So next year, if I'll be here and see you again, I will show you cases of VR headsets used to experience specific conditions or other activities. 4. I was talking about holistic value. And a lot of people say, okay, digital advertising technology, what you do, guys, it's crazy. Why do you do it? I mean, you could get a job, a normal job, maybe go to the client side. Why do you do it? And I'm going to answer why I believe in what we do. And I'm going to answer to you with an example. It's a very powerful example. It happened 2 weeks ago. And it happened because, in a great way, technology, 3D printing, entertainment, social media, mixed together to create magic and remind us why do we do the things we do. You know about this story? How many of you know about this? Let me tell you what happened, because some of you don't know. It's this company, which is, I think, non-profit, 3D printed a robotic arm for a kid, and they painted it like Iron Man's hand, and they got Robert Downey Jr. to give it to the kid. 3D printing, social media, technology, and entertainment. Holistic value. I truly believe, ladies and gentlemen, that if we put all of this together, we really show what's best in us as humans. This is a picture taken one day after what happened. I don't know if you see here, 34 million shares, hundreds of thousands of views, and so forth. When all of them are put together and they create something great, people want to be a part of it. Technology allows us not only to create the magic, but to spread it and taste it. Technology is somehow the fuel for the engine that drives humanity towards the future. And it's our responsibility as brands and agencies, because we have the budgets, to push it further and put it to good use. Thank you very much.